Today we're checking out Infiltrator from Devious Machines. The plugin looks like this, and it sounds like this. All right, so you can consider this video to be a sponsored video. They sent me this plugin to check out, make a video about, and I did not pay for this plugin. If you are interested in buying this plugin, there will be a link in the description. So Devious Machines Infiltrator is a multi-effects processor. It has 10 slots where we can modulate and insert different effects. These effects can be sequenced using this page, where they go through different steps, and in each step we have a different effect, and we can have multiple effects on at once. And if we're not using the sequence, they're all active and they're all in series. I'll just play a section of this without the effect on. And just the drums. All right, so you get an idea of the clean sound. At the top, there's the preset section, and then we've got the macro section below that, where we can link multiple parameters to a single knob and adjust them simultaneously. We've got the sequence and effect tabs, effects 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Power for those, and clicking on them brings up the effects page where we can choose which effects. So on effect number 1, I can choose the Model 20 low-pass filter. We get this graph where we can set the level over time for the cutoff. Below that, we get into the details of things, the speed of the effect, and then we have controls for linking the cutoff parameter to either the graph, and you can see it on the left moving, or to incoming audio envelope. So based on the sound that's coming in, it's going to move the cutoff frequency. And we've got a couple different modes here for the direction. Then we've got a resonance and a drive control, and every different module that we're using as an effect has different controls. So the Model 20 has resonance, drive, gain, stereo, glide. We go to something like the comb filter, then we got some resonance, brightness, gain. The pitch shift has jitter, grain, and a lot of them have multiple modes. So there's an A and a B mode. The B mode doesn't have the jitter control. If we go to the one of the filters again, this one doesn't have another mode, but the digital low pass has different steepness. All the filters use the cutoff frequency, but the comb filters and the EQ and the looper and all these other functions, it may vary. Frequency or speed or delay time or cutoff frequency. It all depends on which one you choose. So again, I'm gonna bring this back to the Model 20 filter, and let's hear this on the drums. Let's put something in on the graph, so maybe a slope down, and we'll apply this unipolar negative direction. And adjust the speed, so where it's at half notes now, we'll switch this to quarters. And go up to 1/28, it's moving so quickly, you can't really hear it. So like a lot of modulation in synthesizers, we're setting the filter cutoff point, and then we're setting some secondary point either above or below that to set the minimum and maximum values. If the envelope setting is lower than the filter, then it's going to sweep up. And if it's higher, then it's going to sweep downwards. It's just going to go back and forth between those settings. And then there is the bipolar mode, which will go above and below that setting. And you can see the range in the blue line. So that's with the filter. Let's look at the graph in a little bit more detail here. We can double click to add points. And drag the center line to actually change the curve. There's also a random button, a flatline button, and a couple presets for different slopes, commonly used slopes. And then in the menu, there's a few other options like edit for copying and pasting, and inverting, quantizing, making it half as long. Lots of cool stuff there. Let's go to a high pass filter, and I'm going to turn off the envelope function. So this section here, this is not active. And we will go into the audio envelope section. And now this will be controlled by a gate. So let's turn up the audio envelope amount. There's a delay time and a hold time and an attack time. Let me just solo a kick. And so with this graph, we can see how it's following the curve of the incoming audio. Using those settings, we can also switch to another effect like the comb filter. And depending on the incoming audio, maybe that doesn't work, but we can always switch it over to the sequenced envelope. And let's set this to a half note. So that's the comb filter. Now let's go on to the ring mod. And if we don't want that modulation happening, we can always just turn off the knob for either the envelope or the audio envelope, and we can just choose a setting. That's kind of cool. Let's do another. So we've got a couple different ring mod settings, and we can put them onto the sequencer. And so I've got beat 1 clean, beat 2 will be the first effect, beat 3 will be clean, and beat 4 will be the second effect. Let's do another effect like a delay, and we'll set this to this delay time. You can see at the bottom, it's at 3/16, and let's hear that without the other effects. It's actually probably too long. Yeah, let's just do something like that. Okay, and then add that to the sequence and maybe put that on number 3. And you know what? That probably needs to be mixed a bit differently because it's not blended in right. So let's put that at 65%. And let's put in the delay on the second beat too. And so that's how you would apply different effects to the sequences. And let's go on to the decimator effect. And let's find a cool setting for this. Actually, you know what? Let's just put it on random. Let's hit random a couple times. This one looks good. And turn off the sequence. Here I'm using both the sequenced envelope and the incoming audio to modify this. I think that's good there. Let's add that to the sequence. Let's put this on beat 1 and 3. And so they're going to combine with these other effects. Now the last section that I'll talk about is the master section. There's a overall drive control with the ability to set this before or after effects. And there are several different drive modes or saturation modes: overdrive, tube, dynamics, fold, crush, broken. There's a compressor with, again, a few different modes: squash, maximizer, multiband, overkill. A clean bass mode which bypasses processing on just the lows, so it keeps the low frequencies clean. Let's hear that. So everything below 150 passes through without going through the effects. Pretty cool. And these are not sequenced effects, by the way. Let's mess around with the master drive control going before the effects. Let's go to the rectify mode. And the punch mode. Now the compressor. Yeah, so that's like an OTT sort of compression. Really messes with the sound, but can be pretty cool. So this plugin is just a lot of fun. Infiltrator by Devious Machines. Check it out at the links below. Such a fun plugin. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Support the Reaper blog through Patreon, and visit reaperblog.net for a lot more tutorials.